I am Dr. Prabhat Dwivedi, Associate Professor, STEP HPTI, Kanpur, India. Today I am going to discuss with you Z-test for two variants. This is the last category in Z-test. So let's see how this Z-test for two variants is conducted. As I would like to remind you once again about the conditions of Z-test to be applicable. Sample size should be greater than or equal to 30. That means for large samples, population should be distributed normally. Data points in that population should be independent. Or if there are two populations or two samples, those should be independent of each other. And last but not the least, samples should be randomly selected. That is what the condition of Z-test we would like to meet when we are going to apply Z-test, any kind of Z-test. So let's see what Z-test for two variances or equality of variances is used for. This is used to test the hypothesis of equality of two population variances when the sample size of each sample is 30 or larger. Just remember, if the samples are small, that means below 30, that test would become, in this case, in case of two variances, the test F test or ANOVA test will be applicable. At that time, Z test will not be applicable. But if the samples are large, then we would apply this Z test for large sample. Here we can see the statistic, what a statistic is, how Z statistic is formed. So again, I am going to tell you what hypothesis we are going to test with this Z statistic for two variances. This statistic is to test the hypothesis of equality of two population variances, or to test the hypothesis whether the two samples are drawn from one population. If there are two samples, then we need to check whether the two samples are drawn from only one population of which the standard deviation or variance is known. This is one condition. Or to test the equality of variances if there are two populations and variances are unknown. These are the two conditions in which we can apply for this Z test for two variances. This is what the test statistic is given here. In first, we can see this statistic here that is visible before you. S1 minus S2 upon minus sigma 1 minus sigma 2. The null hypothesis is obvious if both standard deviations or variances of both the populations are same. Under the null hypothesis, then this sigma 1 minus sigma 2 will be equal to sigma. Then if one population is there, then standard deviation or variance of the population is known, and two samples are drawn from this population, and test is conducted for testing whether the two samples are drawn from only one population. Then this statistic will be applied, and here S1 minus S2, S1 is standard deviation of sample 1. Obviously samples are very large, so they are, they can be equated with the population standard deviation when samples are such large. So S1 minus S2, that is standard deviation of population sample 1 minus standard deviation of sample 2 minus sigma 1 minus sigma 2. This becomes 0 under the null hypothesis upon standard error, that is sigma 1 square upon 2n1 plus sigma 2 square upon 2n2. This statistic is applicable when two samples are, the test is conducted for testing whether the two samples are drawn from only one population, standard deviation of which is known, and if the test is conducted whether the two variances are same or different, then the statistic would be like this: z equal to s1 minus s2 minus sigma 1 minus sigma 2. Numerator is same, denominator changes little bit. Root s1 square upon 2n1 plus s2 square upon 2n2. This doesn't make any big difference or any difference at all, just because the samples are very large samples. So when samples are large, I mean large size of the samples are, in that case standard deviations of samples can be equated to the standard deviations of population. So then sigma 1 square can be written as s1 square, sigma 2 square can be written as s2 square. Rest remains the same. So again the null hypothesis, that is sigma 1 equal to sigma 2. So they are considered equal. That means sigma 1 minus sigma 2 value becomes 0. This value becomes 0. So this is the Z statistic which we would be applying. What kind of hypothesis is formulated? Let's see here. The hypothesis, null hypothesis, is like two samples have been drawn from the same population. Two samples have been drawn from the same population, or no difference between two population variances. No difference between two population variances. That means sigma 1 minus sigma 2 equal to 0, or sigma 1 equal to sigma 2. For this null hypothesis, the alternative hypotheses are like sigma 1 is not equal to sigma 2, sigma 1 is greater than sigma 2, sigma 1 is lesser than sigma 2. So the first one is two-tailed z-test, and this second one is when with the sign of greater than is right-tailed test, and sign less than indicates about left-tailed z-test. So these are the null and alternative hypothesis which we will be testing further. So let's see how this test statistic is implemented or applied to solve a problem or to implement with a situation given to us. Now the problem is like a random sample of 100 has 3.5 standard deviation. Sorry, a random sample of 1000 has 3.5 standard deviation, and another random sample of 800 has 3.7 standard deviation. So here we can see this is N1, this is S1, standard deviation of sample 1. This is N2, and this is standard deviation of sample 2, so S2. This 5% is alpha. These are the values given to us. Here, assuming that random samples are independent and drawn from normal populations, test whether the two populations have equal variances, or the two samples could have been drawn from the same population at alpha 5%. That is the problem which we are going to solve further. Let's see how this problem is solved with 5 steps hypothesis testing process which I have told you earlier. Learners, step 1 is state null and alternative hypothesis. So here null hypothesis is that two populations are the same or have equal variances or standard deviations. As you remember, variance is a square of standard deviation, so whether we call it variance or standard deviation, both are the same thing. Otherwise, you can say that Z test for two variances, but in problem, standard deviation is given. So how come this is Z test for two variances? So remember, learners, variance is a square of standard deviation, so it doesn't make any difference whether standard deviation is given or variance is given. It can be called like variances. So null hypothesis is two populations are the same or have equal variances, whereas the alternative hypothesis in the light of the problem goes as two populations are not the same. That is what the alternative hypothesis. Mathematical expression of null and alternative hypothesis goes like null hypothesis is sigma 1 equal to sigma 2 or sigma 1 minus sigma 2 equal to 0, whereas the alternative hypothesis is like sigma 1 is not equal to sigma 0. Now step 2 is level of significance that is given to us, that is 5% level of significance. So since it is two-tailed test, because alternative hypothesis has not equal to sign, so it is two-tailed test. So both side level of significance will be half of 5%, that means 2.5%. Left side alpha 2.5%, right side alpha. So that is what the level of significance. Now step 3 is how to calculate critical values. As we can see, N1 is 1000, N2 is 800, that means samples are greater than 30, that means Z test is applicable. Again, alternative hypothesis has not equal to sign, that means two-tailed test. So Z two-tailed test for 5% level of significance, the value, critical value comes plus minus 1.96. This is what the critical value is. Now let's see how we compute Z statistic. So in step 4 we learn how to compute Z statistic. So here for this problem, given values are like N1, sample size 1 is 1000, sample size, second sample size that is N2 is 800. These are the values of N1 and N2. Sigma 1, sigma 2, that means under null hypothesis sigma 1 minus sigma 2 becomes 0. Standard deviation of sample 1 is 3.5, standard deviation of sample 2 is 3.7. Now Z statistic equal to S1 minus S2 minus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 upon under root. Since S1 and S2 are given, that means under root S1 square upon 2n1 plus S2 square upon 2n2. So we are putting the values in Z statistic. This value produces calculated value of Z minus 1.67. So Z calculated is at this level is minus 1.67. So in step 5 we make decision and draw conclusion. So in decision making process we actually compare Z critical with Z calculated. So here we find that Z calculated, that is minus 1.67, is lower than Z critical, that is minus 1.96. So here in the diagram we can see that this value of Z calculated, that is minus 1.67, falls in the acceptance region. This is acceptance region, this right side rejection region, this left side rejection region, shown with red zone, rejection region, rejection region. If the value of Z calculated is greater than 1.96 plus 1.96, this will fall in red zone, then the null hypothesis will be rejected. If the value of Z calculated falls in the left side red zone or rejection region, that is bigger than minus 1.96, then the null hypothesis will be rejected. So here we can see that the calculated value Z is 1.67 with minus sign. So here we can see that null hypothesis is failed to be rejected. That means how we would write the decision and conclusion we can see in this slide. Since the calculated value of z is lower than the critical value of z, so it falls in the acceptance region. Therefore, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Let me remind you once again, we cannot say, so we accept the null hypothesis. Sorry, we can't say this, but we will say that we fail to reject the null hypothesis. And how can we write the conclusion? We can write that there are not enough evidences. Remember, there are not enough evidences to support the alternative hypothesis. To support the alternative hypothesis, so we can conclude that the two samples might have come from the same population. That is what the null hypothesis was, that two samples are drawn from the same population, or if they are drawn from the two different populations, then their variance is same. Both populations have equal variances. That is what the null hypothesis, which we fail to reject. So we conclude that the two samples might have come from the same population. So learners, I hope this would have served the purpose of yours. Let's take another question for practice. Question goes like, the mean production of wheat from a sample of 100 fields is 200 lbs per acre with a standard deviation of 10 lbs. Another sample of 150 fields is 250 lbs per acre with a standard deviation of 12 lbs. Assuming the standard deviation of universe has 11 lbs. Standard deviation of LBS, population standard deviation is known. Find at 1% level of significance whether the two results are consistent or not. So we have to work out this problem. For hint, answer is given below. You can see. So I think learners, it would have been helpful for you all, and I think if you have found it worth, you would not hesitate in sharing this video lecture with your friends, with your students, with your colleagues, with your loving ones who understand the hypothesis testing or tries to understand hypothesis testing. So I would remind you to subscribe, share and like this video lecture. Thank you so much, learners.